is the end of day 3 of camp, and I am not gonna lie, I'm completely cooked. Like, the majority of the big bit of our training is done. So we got here on Wednesday and we did our openers ride, which was just I think a 50-kilometer ride, but it was a decent hill, the Kopu hill that we've done most mornings. So then Thursday morning, that's when we started. Obviously coming up here, I wasn't as fit as I wanted to be. Hadn't done a lot of training, but I had like a little bit of a talk with Josh, and depending on how my training was going and how far behind the group I got, I could always jump in the car if I was completely dead and have a bit of a rest, or get the car to take me home. So I was like, okay, I'll come up, and that's why I came up to camp, to get a really good block of training in. So Thursday morning was the first day of actual camp. Alright, day 1 of training camp. The weather is pretty nice today. It's a bit nippy at the moment because it is 7 AM. Literally just no wind. Bike is ready with the foil carbons. New grip set all ready to go. So I've got 185 kilometers on the table for today, with almost 3,000 meters of climbing. So wish me luck. Haven't done any distance or hills like that in a long time. So by the time I get back to this point in 6-7 hours, I'm going to be a dead man.
We'll cruise down K2 loop today. So it's 185k, I think. You know, if you're any sort of man, you'll keep going till you get to 200. And yeah, exactly. So we'll go down the main road to the Kopu Hikuai turnoff. We'll go up there. That's the first big climb. Kerry-Ann will be following the last person on the road, but part way up the climb, she'll zoom ahead to the top, just to give anyone warm gear that they want to put on for the descent. And we started off, it was meant to be K2 loop, which is a big hilly race that we do in New Zealand, starting in the Coromandel. So we started from Thames, and it's about 185 kilometers. So we headed out Thames, went up Kopu, and I was struggling up Kopu like normal. They waited for us at the bottom of Kopu. So then we rode as a group most of the way to Whitianga, but I think I got dropped about 20 kilometers before then. So I rode into Whitianga, and I was completely dead by then. That was about 93.5 kilometers. So I jumped in the car, so I had a bit of a rest and rewind. Skull to coat, try and get some sugar into me. So I'm back in the chapter 2 car now. Bike is on this like weird bike rack thing. Still have like 100, maybe just under 100 kilometers to go. So I'm gonna try and have a sleep while I'm in here. Stopping for lunch, and the rest of the group stopped for lunch in Coromandel town. So I had lunch there, had some chips because I was getting a bit of cramp. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna punch on and ride the rest of the way home. I don't care if I get dropped or anything. So then I jumped back on my bike, and then there was 2 big climbs out of Coromandel. So I did both of those climbs. The first one went alright, the second one I got dropped, and they waited for me at the bottom of the climb. Good luck. Fuck going up there on that. And then Josh pulled us most of the way into town, and then I think I cracked probably 10-15 kilometers before I got home, and then I just rolled into home dead. So that was another 56 kilometers. So I think I ended up doing 145 on Thursday. So not a terrible day. Alright, Friday day camp was meant to be a flatter day. Didn't end up being that flat, still ended up doing like 1,500 meters of elevation. We went over the same Kopu climb that we did every other morning, and I got over there way better than I got over there the first 2 days, the 2 days prior. So I was like, oh yeah, legs coming along a bit. And then we got to the bottom of Kopu and we waited around, and then we got changed, and then literally just as we were about to leave, it started raining, and it didn't stop raining until we got all the way to Waihi. On the way to Waihi on the flat, it was kind of rolly the whole way there, and then I kind of started to get dropped, and then Josh would come back and grab me, and there was a back forth, back forth, back forth.
Looking a bit grim, day 2. She's a bit wet out there.
Until I finally got dropped to one last big climb, and then I think I made it about 83.5 kilometers that day, and then I jumped in the car because I was just freezing and it was so wet. The other boys trudged on. They did like 6-7 hours that day, which was crazy in the rain.
So they're about to get going after lunch. How are we feeling?
Oh, just choice.
Choice?
Yeah, it's just awesome being cold
His
and
face
wet.
says it all.
Cold and wet.
I'd rather be anywhere else.
We were just discussing how every year we think, hey, let's go training in the coldest, wettest, hilliest, mingingest place we can find. And then we come here instead. Next year we should go to Tokoroa. Imagine that.
You don't see-
Tokoroa in the middle of winter.
Shivering just a bit there, Stu.
You don't see Tim.
No, it's nerves.
You don't see
Like it's so boys have just come out of the gorge. And look who has shown up to join them. The one and only.
And then today, present day, I started half an hour before the main bunch today with a few others.
Yeah, big Daz. How are you feeling, Daz? Awesome. Little Tommy. I'm still back to that. Finished a little bit early today. These boys to get over the hills because they're a little bit tired.
And we got to because we did K2 reverse. So the first day of camp K2, but we did it the other way, which is way harder because all of the climbs, they're not longer, but they're way steeper, like way steeper. So we rode out the coast to start with, and I think it's about 30-40 kilometers to start before we get to the first climb. And it was really nice just riding at a leisure, or not a leisurely pace, but a nicer pace than just absolutely getting my ass handed to me by Josh. So we got to the bottom of that climb, went up the first climb, and I was just kind of just cruising along. Second climb, got over there, alright, and then we got down that climb onto the flat into Coromandel, and that's when Josh and Gordy and all of them caught us. And then from there, there's a climb out of Coromandel, and it's so steep on this side. Like the other side's long, but this side is just super steep. And my gearing choice for this week has been absolutely, I wouldn't say terrible, but not the best. I have a 53-39 on the front, and then I have an 11-25, and not a great gear 25-39 when I'm trying to climb all the time. So if I was to come back to camp, I'd definitely drop a chainring size and get a 28 on the back. Like even if I had a 28 and just had one more gear climbing, I think I would have found this camp a lot easier than I already have. Like it's just grinding up all those climbs all day long, and that gear has just absolutely killed me. I started to get cramp in my hamstring. Anyway, today Coromandel, and then I rode the section of K2 the reverse way that I ended up being in the car for on day one. So it was quite good that I finally got to ride that, because I haven't ridden that for 2 years, I think. So I ended up riding that, and then they asked me if I wanted to jump in the car, because I think I was about 10 minutes behind on one of the climbs. I was like, no, I'll make it into Whitianga and have lunch with the boys and just see how I feel. So I got in there, I think they just ordered their meal. I ordered myself a coffee because I thought some caffeine would really help. So I ordered a coffee, and I ordered a bacon and egg toasty. I just chowed that down. I was like, alright, there's no point, I'm just gonna ride until I die today. So just ride until I die. I think that was about 93 kilometers into today's ride, and then I just sat behind Gordy for about 40 kilometers. It's just undulations from about where we started to where I ended up jumping in the car. So I was like, alright, I'm just gonna ride until Gordy kills me. And then we got to the bottom of a climb, and I was like, alright. And then they all passed me, and I just rode up the climb as hard as I could. I started to get cramp in my left hamstring, and then I got to the top of the climb, and then the team car's like, how are you, blah blah blah. So I rolled down to the next town, and by this time I am absolutely dead. Rolled into the next town, I got to the boys at the end of the town, and I was so cracked. I think I took my helmet off, sat on the grass, and then died for about 5-10 minutes just drinking Coke.
How are you feeling, Tommy?
Oh no,
My insides have been ripped out.
Yeah? It's not a good status to be feeling. How's morale, boys?
I'm fucking sore, eh?
Morale?
I'm really fucking looking forward to Kopu. Oh look, here he is.
Go Gordon!
Does it get steep soon?
Yeah, eventually.
Look at me dance on the pedals. Morale is lifted because we're riding to second and third. Daz is out. Crumbled like an apple crumble that's been cooked for too long. No old Mother Hubbard dropped it. Watch me dance.
And that was a 138 kilometer ride today. 5 hours 15 in the saddle. That is the longest ride. I'm pretty sure that's the longest ride I've done in over a year and a half since I stopped training consistently and doing big miles. So all in all, I'm bloody happy with how I've ridden over the last week. So, looking at my Strava here, since I started training on Wednesday, like I trained Monday, but obviously that doesn't go on Strava because that was a wind training session. Didn't train Tuesday. Wednesday I travelled up here, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so 4 days of training, and I've done 15 hours and 48 minutes on the bike, 5,763 meters of climbing, and 415 kilometers on the road. So all in all, it's really good. My legs are hurting like they should be, and I think we're gonna go and have a team dinner tonight, which I'm very excited about. And now I'm gonna get out of the car. Alrighty, this is my coach, Josh Page. You've been coaching me now for what, 3 years? No, maybe more than that, 4 years?
4, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, one of those years, well, last year basically was a write-off.
Yeah,
I didn't ride, so I haven't really done proper training probably since this camp 2 years ago. So with all that in consideration, how do you think I've gone over the last 4 days basically? Pretty
solid really for a guy who's been ill and hasn't done a lot of training. You've got your way around.
Yeah.
Almost made the 190 today, but
yeah, what, 138 I think I got today.
Yeah, the miles got the better of you.
Yeah, I think I just the cramps, something I just need to work on. That will come with time, I guess, and more training.
Yeah, but you've been to the doctors and you've had some tests done and maybe have a solution to that. So
yeah, so hopefully we can get that sorted. Sorted before the Dynamo series would be good.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Other than that, how's your week gone?
Pretty savage as always. At camp we don't muck around, so we just go out and just brutalise ourselves for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, because I haven't finished one of the days properly and I've still done almost 16 hours of training. So what are you up to?
22.
22 hours?
Yeah.
And we only started on Wednesday?
Yeah. Yeah, well, 19 hours then, because I did, Tuesday and 2 hours on Wednesday, but yeah, since Thursday be on 19 hours in 3 days.
Not bad. And it's bloody hilly terrain out here as well.
Yeah, I think it's what, 3,000 meters a lap or something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm almost up to 6,000 meters of climbing, so you must be close to 8.
Yeah, probably not far off. It's pretty lumpy.
Yeah, sweet.
Good terrain though. Good place to go if you want to do a training camp. Maybe just don't choose July in the middle of winter.
Middle of winter.
Can be very hit and miss. We're in shorts and t-shirts today, but yesterday was everything we owned.
Yeah, very brutal. So Josh, when he first started coaching me, he used to live in the Hawke's Bay, because Marston and Hawke's Bay is about a 2-hour drive. That's how I get to know him, and that's how we do lots of training together. But you've just recently moved to Auckland.
Yep.
Why have you moved to Auckland?
Just taken up a role at Chapter 2 Bikes as the Asia Pacific Area Manager.
Yeah.
So I'll be basically the rep, supporting stores and dealers who want to sell Chapter 2 bikes around the Asia Pacific region. So New Zealand, Australia, anywhere in Asia really, which is quite cool.
Yeah, sweet.
Bit of a special job that comes along very rarely.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really cool job. Good opportunity as well.
This is the Chapter 2 Terre, so this is Mike's first design.
And this is also the bike that Mike sponsored me on, I think almost 2.5 years ago when they first launched the brand, and this is what I've been riding. I've had 2 of them now and I've been riding ever since. Yep. And it's a bloody awesome bike.
Yeah, it's pretty good, eh? I like it.
And since then he has made, alright, and then the second bike he made for Chapter 2 is?
The Rear Ray, which is the aero bike. So Mike worked pretty hard to make this bike as aero as possible, whilst being essentially as functional and user-friendly as possible. So there's nothing weird like internal cables for people to get stuck on, so your cables are just nice and smooth. Direct mount brakes, nice aero lines, but with Mike's typical arty fashion. So looks very clean, looks very stealth. It's a very cool bike. I was using one for a few weeks before they wanted to send it elsewhere for someone else to trial, and it's pretty awesome. I liked it.
Yeah, I think if I was to get another one, if I was to go off the Terre, I'd probably get the Rero.
Yeah,
it's a very cool looking bike.
I was pretty disappointed to have it taken off me. I did like it a lot.
Alright, and then the last one that he's designed?
So this is the latest one, which was released I think late last year, which is the Huru. It's the climbing bike. Basically Mike just wanted to go with an ultra light climbing bike essentially, so very traditional round tubing, which I'm a big fan of. Even got Mountain Ruapehu put in topography on the top tube, which is quite cool. And when they built this particular bike up, they had an even lighter set of wheels for it, and with the Mana bar, weighed in at just under 6 kilos, I think.
Far out, that's light.
Can't say as I've ridden this one yet. I'm halfway through setting it up for me so I can ride it and at least be able to comment and rate it. But pretty excited to be able to try this one soon.
Sweet as.
So the final bike that Mike's designed that's ready to be released is the AO. That'll be coming out later on this year. Haven't really firmed up a date, but there's been a lot of excitement about it on the internet. I've seen one in the flesh. I have a few people over in America and Canada, and they look pretty flippin' cool. Just waiting to get my one built up soon and tried. So that's the gravel bike, which is taking off around the world. Seems to be pretty big in the States, and I'd say it'll be launching ahead in New Zealand as well. Hopefully the one that they've got for me to trial will be ready for the winter Forest Festival gravel race in Rotorua in a few weeks time. So yeah, stay tuned and you might see it there.
Enjoy.
We can stay up late and have a ton of fun. Take your clothes off. What's in my drink? It won't let me doze off. And depressed girl overdose on Zola.